So what would happen if you took a classic Porsche 911, a rally car, and a Le Mans prototype racer? Well, you already know because you read the title of this video. So I got this at my local dealer, AB Minute Cars. If you ever come to Thailand, you really want to visit this guy's shop. If you like 164 scale stuff, it's the best shop regarding 164 scale that I'm aware of. There are other shops, great shops, but this guy has the most variety. He also has ignition model 118 scales as well. So what we have is the Hoonipigasus, which is actually a combination of three names. The Hoonigan, Ken Block's marketing company, and then the pig is an homage to the Porsche Pink Pig from the 70s, the Le Mans racer. And the Asus is taken from Pegasus, which is the Mobile One logo, because Ken Block's Hoonigan Group, Mobile One, and actually the artist that did this, his name is Trouble Andrew. Anyways, that's a trio of a combination that led to this crazy vehicle. All right, let's see here. Let's just YM. No, this is Error404. I thought it was YM model. I don't even pay attention to the things I get sometimes. All I know is I pre-ordered this a while ago because it looked pretty crazy. And in general, this brand I don't think has ever let me down. This is a resin model, by the way. It's not die-cast, so it's going to actually look nice. Actually, die-casts still look nice. They just don't look as nice. I find it funny that people want their models to be made out of metal when it's an inferior product when it comes to detail. You can always get a tighter mold detail out of plastic than metal. Alright, so I'm just reading a CNET article of all things. This was built by BBI Autosport in Hoonigan, and then it's powered by a twin-turbo 4-liter flat 6, putting out 1,400 horsepower. It's all-wheel drive, mid-engined. Oh, wow, this tape is crazy. 6-speed sequential transmission, and then the suspension is actually adjustable and is related to the telemetry system and GPS data from previous runs up the Pikes Peak Hillclimb. Wow, this is by far the most difficult tape I have ever had to take off. I have a suspicion maybe they don't want you to ever open this thing. Error404. Look at this. It's leaving all this residue, and it's really just crazy. That's really the strongest tape I've ever run into. Alright. This car only weighs around 2,200 pounds. The body is made of carbon fiber. It originally tried to compete in the 2022 Pikes Peak Hillclimb, but then it had engine problems and they couldn't fix it in time to run up it properly. I guess it must have broke down during practice runs. Let's see, this cover is decently tight, I guess. So sadly, Ken Block passed away in a snowmobile accident, and that's unfortunate for all of us because I think he was one of the greatest drivers of our time. I mean, the things that guy did makes F1 drivers look like kindergarten drivers. I'm not a professional racer, but I mean, Ken Block jumps cars. F1 cars generally don't jump. Okay, let's see. Continuing on here. More to the story. The daughter, Leah, actually drove this up Pikes Peak in 2023, so quite recently. Not timed, she's only 16 years old, so you gotta give that girl a lot of credit. That takes a lot of huevos to drive something with 1,400 horsepower up a mountain with no safety. Like, there are no guardrails. People are always flying off that mountain and getting impaled by trees and dying trying to race up the Pikes Peak. And then Leah's mother, I don't know if that's like Ken Block's wife or ex-wife or what, but she competed in an electric buggy. Yeah, so the whole family, they ran up Pikes Peak at some point in time. So I think that's an interesting story. This is Leah, I guess, driving somewhere in that cockpit, and this is the finish of Pikes Peak this year. All right, you'll notice the wheels have changed. So race wheels, I guess promotional image wheels or something. Or maybe they just had different tires, you know, for the conditions that day. Alright, so this is an acrylic base. It's quite interesting. They didn't even bother taking off the backing that protects it from being scratched. There's 2 black screws holding it down, and I'm not going to remove this. I don't want my fingerprints to get all over it or damage any of the sensitive parts. We do have a photo etched nameplate here. You got Ken Block there. I believe there's some small text I can't even read. Global Edition. There's 700 of these models. But it does say lot 57. Oh, never mind. Lot 57 supplies. I don't know what that is. And then Error404 thing here. So, all right. I like that the base is just acrylic. You know, it doesn't have some weird sticker on it, or even worse, felt, which is gonna break down over time, or fake leather. I don't like how brands are doing that because I know it's gonna look bad in the future. All right. Boy, where to start? I guess the wheels as usual. Let me get the good old pick of scrutiny here. Alright, we are at 4 times magnification, essentially making this, I believe, a 1/18 scale car in the images. Alright, the wheel, sure, it's that tire is compressed, which is actually realistic, but, well, as long as it doesn't deform around the wheel, like make air pockets around the wheel, I suppose that's okay. I do feel like maybe it's too compressed. In fact, let me come back. Yeah, perhaps you actually want to watch this. So here's a little screw. See? There's that much tension with the screw. But I obviously don't want that air pocket, so I want it just the tire touching down, but not necessarily compressing it so much that it deforms and looks odd. So I guess that's good. I think it's already too late for the front. That's just not gonna... It looks like it has like 7 tons of pressure on it. Yeah, see, it's too late. I'm lucky they'll stretch out later, but I doubt it. Alright. The center knockoff is blue and silver on this side. It's red on that side. That makes sense. I have no clue as to what wheels these are. The tires look pretty good. They're not just slab-sided. They actually have, you know, some angularity to them. And then the Toyo tires looks like a decal. You're going to get decals on resin models in most cases. So this carbon fiber, you can see the wrinkliness. It is a decal. I gotta say it's done pretty well. There's no air pocket right here. Back to the wheel, sorry. You can actually see the bolts holding the rotor onto the hat. So that's really impressive. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that before in 164. The hat detailed that good. And then you can see the caliper is silver, and it's not, you know, flat. It's actually got some three-dimensionality going on there. So that looks good. The rotor itself, I guess, is just a flat carbon rotor. I don't see any cross-drilling or slotting or anything like that. Alright, we have a barge board here. It's got a carbon graphic on it. And then this whole body is looking like a matte finish pink. I don't know if the whole body is a decal, because look, this thing I'm touching looks like a wrinkle. I wonder if it's a decal. It possibly is. I don't know. But then this is definitely a decal. Hoonigan, you see that edge right there? That's the clear of the decal. So it could be double. I don't know if it's double decaled, or maybe it's tampo printed, because I don't really see the wrinkliness here, right? It just looks like a matte finish pink. But you can clearly tell that's a decal. Same with that. Alright, venting detail there. Oh, that actually goes in a bit. Maybe that's a jacking point. I have no idea what that would be. Maybe another jacking point. The door handle actually has air passing behind it, so you can open it if you have small fingers. This is blacked out. There's a little vent detail. Maybe that's the... I don't know what that would be. Telemetry or something. It's got the super thin packaging windows. So actually, this is still at 4 times magnification. See, I'm actually focused through 2 panes of windows, and we're looking at the photograph back there on the monitor. So that's how clear these windows are, right? Pretty crazy. Alright, I backed out a little bit. Let's see. The rear wheel, yeah, looks just as good as the front. The Toyo is pretty much vertical, so that's not bad. There's that mobile Hoonipigasus thing. Yeah, this does look matte finish, this pink. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it is paint. Tough to say. Go back to the front. So now we have, hold on, I can't even tell where my pick is. This is clearly a clear piece of plastic or resin or some sort, you know, and there's some depth and detail behind it, like there's light buckets back there. So that's a nice separate piece. This modern projector looking beam back there, and then you got the lens cover in front of it, and then the black bezel. So that's 3 pieces at least going on for that headlight. This, I don't know, it looks like it could be a separate piece, but it's actually 3-dimensional. It's not just a flat, you know, quick release for the hood. So unfortunately here you can see an air pocket behind that decal. So yeah, I don't know if the whole thing is a decal or not. I just have a hard time thinking they would decal the whole body with one decal. But maybe some sponsorship getting up in there. This wing thing here is different from there. This is like just black, but this is carbon, so interesting. This grill is probably a photo etched piece of metal because it looks like I can see light behind there. Let's get the flashlight. Yeah, see the light moving around through that grate? So that's cool. There's something back there. It's just flat though. Alright, the other headlight looks pretty good. The other turn signal looks pretty good. It's interesting. I'm just trying to look at the photos. I don't know why this would be blanked off. You know, why would you have this giant downforce thing if air isn't cutting through there? I guess it's trying to force it up there and create more downforce. That's probably a brake duct. Alright, so these are pressure relief openings. There's no pattern because in the real car I think it's just air. So it would have been cool if that was actually air, but maybe they felt that this would be a little bit fragile. I don't know, it looks thick enough. I think they could have actually molded this open so you'd see that, be able to touch the tire. This is a separate piece here. Nice. You know what's weird? This 43. It looks, the number itself is pixelated. See? You can see the ridges of the 4 right there. So I don't know why they're using a low resolution printer. Maybe that's just as good as decals can get, but I kind of feel like I've seen decals with better edges than that. So again, I think that's an air pocket right there. I think this is a separate piece of black. Yeah, this ridging here, that's a separate piece. Some bumps for the fluid ejectors, one central wiper blade, and it is definitely perpendicular. Look at that, to the windscreen. That's a cool wiper blade. And then the Mobile 1 banner is definitely a decal. You can see the wrinkliness there. Going up here, a little Pac-Man ghost of some sort. Ken Block there. And I'm going to guess these must be the exhaust pipes. Painted silver. No rear window at all, but I guess with 1400 horsepower up a mountain, you don't need to see what's behind you. This looks like a separate piece as well. Texture. I mean, that's really thin. This is a dental pick, so you could literally floss her teeth with this black grill, and someone had to put that in there. Door handle again looks nice here. The packaging window I didn't mention. This black part is on top of the clear window, so it's a 2-piece window. This looks the same as the other side. Yeah, unfortunately I'm not a fan of the decal, just covering up that air gap of the door. There's carbon fiber decal work here on the side skirt. Yeah, the red looks alright there. The tires again look okay. Alright, coming around to the rear, the giant diffuser. Again, a carbon fiber treatment, probably a decal. I don't know if that's the differential or something, I'm not sure, but this is a photo etched piece of metal, this frame. You can see it's pretty thin and very flat, so it's photo etched metal. Now the taillights are really nice because they're amber and they're red, and they're quite thick. You know, they look like they would be classic 911 taillights, but there's actually no backing, which is kind of weird. Like, the real one must have a light bucket, right? Unless literally they took just the lenses and have like an LED strip behind them or something. It's hard to tell in that photograph I pulled up. But anyways, still, pretty neat. Let's see what's going on way in there. So there's some rubber spacers, and that was creating a tension holding the vehicle up. So the struts for this wing, they are also photo etched metal. Pretty thick metal as well, because they etched away the diamond pattern here. But, you know, actually that's realistic. I instinctively thought there should be air in this triangle, but I'm looking at that rear photo. It's a solid chunk of aluminum, so that's realistic. All right, you got this like ducktail that is built into. The decal work is okay. A little bit of a pocket there. The exhaust tips here, they are, you know, a little bit of a concave depth there, and I think it might be painted black. They're not as deep as one would hope, though. There's also some latches here, black, probably separate pieces, photo etched as well, because a groove, a dot. So that's either molded plastic or etched metal. So the top of the wing is a decal again. You can see the wrinkliness and the shininess of it. It seems to be well, I guess it is a one piece. No, look at that. I think that actually might be two pieces. Hold on. Yeah, you see the pick through that tiny slot? So there's a little bit of air passing right there. Or maybe the decal's covering it up. But so this wing actually has, right, a bottom and a top wing. 1, 2. And then maybe these end plates might be separate pieces. I'm not sure. But the end plates are nicely done. Has a texture of some sort, these vents. And then, you know, a decal again. But this pink here, and then the edges are black, so that's nice. Yeah, maybe a tiny bit of pink showing through there, but I'm really nitpicking. Granted, this was a really expensive model, though, so... But I gotta say, there's a lot of detail just on the outside already. So I think that is it for the outside. Now the challenge... Oh, wait, what's this in the front? What is this little red dot here? Oh, that's a decal. I thought it was like a light or something, but no, this is some sort of sponsorship, I guess. Interesting. It's got a pink something. Maybe that's the dashboard. I gotta need the flashlight. Hold on. First, I'm gonna hit focus there through the window. Wow, that's an awesome steering wheel. It literally has multiple colors, and I literally think there's like a... No, maybe that's a reflection. I thought the screen actually had some detail, but no, that's the light reflection, like a line reflecting. I assume that black rectangle there must be like a control box or a fuse box, maybe? I'm not sure. You'll notice the central tunnel there. It has the pink and white livery, like the outside. There's something here underneath the wiper blade. What is that? It's like a cylinder that's black and silver. Maybe that's a tachometer or something. You'll notice, yeah, there's 3 dots there. Maybe that's the brake cylinders or something. But basically, there's no dashboard. It's just like a frame, a tube frame, and then all the stuff just attached to it. So that's quite unique. I've never seen an interior like that, where it's just gutted out like a real race car. I mean, well, it's not even gutted out. This thing was never a regular car. It's just purpose-built, a race car that happens to look like a Porsche. So here, now we got 3 boxes on the floor. I don't know what those would be, but maybe that thing to the left of it is a fuel tank. And then you can see the frame, the roll cage by the door. Yeah, okay, so there's definitely some roll cage action going on here. Let's try it from the other side, because we haven't even seen the seat. Yeah, the steering column silver. Nothing there on the passenger side. Granted, there's no passenger at all. Alright, I can't really see much of the seat yet. Oh, there we go. It's a really tall side bolster for the helmet. And then some indication of the openings where the straps would go through. In fact, those actually probably are hollow. Yeah, I think, yeah, those are open, the back of the seat. But sadly, there's no seat harness. That's an oversight. I mean, you can see seat belts in an N064 or Tarmac Works, and those cost a fraction of this, so that's a bit of a letdown. I'm now noticing this windshield, there's silver dots, holding the windscreen down. Yeah, okay. Is there a rear view mirror? I guess there wouldn't be, seeing how there's no rear window. There's no side mirrors either. That's accurate. Sorry, dropped the flashlight. Alright, well, it's actually a pretty nice model. I don't think there are any defects, really, other than the poor choice of using decals, but the decals, as far as models go, they seemed okay. I've seen a lot worse as far as the air pockets behind them. Oh, the wheels are rotiform wheels. Okay. So another Ken Block-driven vehicle is by HPI 64. This is a resin as well of the F-150 retro truck that they made. Although honestly, I don't think there's definitely some shortcomings on this. The first one is the rear window popped loose. I literally had to take it off, sand it down. The piece of plastic was too big for the opening, so it was under a lot of pressure and it wanted to bow out. The second one is the back of the roll cage just terminates in air. It doesn't actually terminate through into the interior, so that's very unrealistic. So I feel like HPI could have done better there. This is definitely a lot better. The other last resin I don't actually show too often is 187 scale. So this is the inspiration for the paint job that Trouble Andrew did. So this is the 1971 917. I believe this may have won. I don't know if it won. Maybe it didn't. But this has just as much detail as any 64 scale. In fact, probably more. That's what makes these things crazy. So it is decaled as well. But you can actually see there's a race harness inside of this 187 scale model. Look at that. The red seat with yellow harnesses. Right? It's literally... it's just crazy. And this is made by Spark, if you're curious. I think possibly the same company that makes 164 scale Sparky. But Sparkies are garbage compared to these 187 scale cars. Unfortunately, these are all so expensive now. You won't even ever find this on eBay. If you did, it'll probably be over $100. It's unfortunate. They don't make these too often because I think it's just hard to do. To make something this detailed, this small. But they did have a big series. Unfortunately, I was dumb enough to sell a lot of them off like 15 years ago. Had I kept them, I could be making thousands of dollars. But anyways, you gotta move on in life. So 187 is a hobby grade. Model railroading HO scale is 187 scale. I feel like, 164 coming from Hot Wheels, it's still gotta go a little bit further. This is definitely nice. These two are pretty nice. But a lot of people are asking, does it roll? Do the doors open? That kind of stuff. It's because you're coming from collecting $1 Hot Wheels. And I feel that you're actually ruining the hobby as far as the advancement of it. A lot of other brands are basically trying to make expensive Hot Wheels, but that's not realistic looking. Right? The panel gaps just can't be done in something this small. So that's just my opinion. Of course, it's a hobby. Collect what you want. But for me, I would rather have a more realistic model that's small than have an opening door. I feel if I want to have opening panels, I would just buy a bigger scale model. right? And then it won't look so ridiculous. That is me griping as usual. I'm an old man, and that's what we do. We complain. We get tired of the world and its silliness. But I gotta say, this seems to be as good of a model as it could be. It's pretty much flawless. Just a few issues because of the decals, but you're gonna get that with anything with decals. So I do think the choice of the base plate is good. No weird sticker, no weird laminations there. Yeah, fantastic detail on this. It was a pricey model, but I'm happy with it because I really have nothing to complain about other than what. So thank you for watching, and hopefully Error404 will come out with something that I like, and we'll see you in that review. Cheers.